What is happening is that we are living in a very dangerous prophetic era where men of God that once carried great mantles of power and truth have now exchanged purity for popularity. They have exchanged altars for attention, and they have exchanged prayer closets for platforms. And this is very dangerous because in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17, the Lord said, "Come out from among them, separate yourself unto me, and I will receive you." Now you can imagine if you are submitting or sitting under a prophet who is no longer being accepted by God, do you then think that God will accept the prayers that he makes for you? So in Matthew chapter 7, verse 16, the Messiah proclaimed and said, "By their fruits you shall know them." And the verse further goes on to say, "Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes?" When a prophet jokes with the God of the Hebrews, it will also compromise his church congregants. That's why in Matthew chapter 15, verse 14, God made it very, 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 very clear that if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a ditch. In Jeremiah 23, verse 1, God said, "Woe unto the shepherd that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture." Now you yourself, as a congregant or as a member of a particular church, you are the sheep that God is referring to. And the shepherd, it is the prophet or the founder of that church. What that verse means is that when a prophet continuously neglects realignment and continue living a life of mocking holiness, and still yet on Sunday goes before the people of God and the sheep of God and claim to be hearing God, to be likened unto him, destroying and scattering the sheep of the pasture of God, which is you. What it means is you'll be declaring war with God. Now tell me, is there a man in this earthly realm that can successfully declare a war with the God of Israel and the God of the Hebrews and prevail? In Malachi chapter 3, verse 7, God made it very clear, and he said, "Return unto me, and I will return unto you." So it is a clarion call to the brethren in the land, especially the prophets, that it is high time we return unto the Lord, so that the Lord will return unto us. And as a result, a revival will break forth in the land of Zimbabwe that will spread into other nations, even as far as the white man's land. But the revival kick-starting in the Republic of Zimbabwe. And God said, pass the message to the brethren. There is no single prophet on this planet that can genuinely and truly encounter the God of the Hebrews and remain reckless on social media. There is no prophet in the entirety of the universe that can genuinely encounter the Holy God of Israel and continue yet still in pride, in sin, and in flirting. It has never been like that, and it will never be like that. That's why when you look at it, Isaiah chapter 6 verse 5, he made it very clear that woe unto me that I have encountered God whilst undone. When you look at it from Exodus chapter 3 verse 5, Moses, when he encountered God, he removed his sandals. And it is written that great fear came upon him. When you further look into Revelations chapter 1 verse 17, John made it very clear and said, when I encountered God, I felt as if I am dead. That is the testimony of the brethren, to mention but a few. What is this, the God of Israel, that you people are encountering out there? Because if it is the God of Israel, no man, you must change. You must stop these stupid behaviors of gallivanting all over the place, mocking people, saying different nonsense on social media. It is high time, gentlemen, that we change and repent. Time is not on our side. We are in the last days. When you were called by God as a prophet and you were given the go-ahead to start a ministry, it means when you accepted that call and you accepted that vision to start a ministry, the acceptance was translated in the spirit realm into you admitting that you are willing and you are ready to live a life of sacrifice where you do your level best to turn yourself away from the pleasures of this world so that you can lead the brethren. That's why in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1, Paul made it very clear that follow me as I follow Christ. So when a prophet is called by God and later on backslides and turn away from God, they will be fulfilling 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 22. What does it say? It says, they are like unto dogs that return to their vomit, and they are like unto pigs that return to wallow in the mud. When you read 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 16, it makes it very clear. Be ye holy, for I, the Lord your God, I am holy. I humbly submit this message to prophets and pastors in the Republic of Zimbabwe. Let us encourage ourselves to do what is right. Time is not on our side. 1 John chapter 4 verse 1, it says, test the spirits. What this means is this: follow a prophet because of their fruit, not because of their charisma. Don't follow a prophet that boasts but doesn't pray. Never make a mistake of being impressed by wealth that lacks holiness, because it will be all vanity. A general of God in this earthly realm is not determined or measured by his followers, but rather he is determined and measured by what follows him when the lights go off. That is how you measure a genuine prophet in this earthly realm.